And the chart which Mr. Bhushan's client should have placed, it is his chart. He has placed all the charts except this chart.
But Mr. Solicitor, therefore that really, for us, would really still beg the question, in the sense that for us, it's not whether, the ruling political party in power presently is going to be the beneficiary of that or not. We are testing a question of constitutionality. And we take your point that, well, this is part of our political system. Whoever is in power gets the large share of the pie insofar as electoral contributions are concerned.
Yes.
So we have to deal with this uninfluenced by all this, by the vicissitudes of the change in political fortune.
I'm great. Because that keeps on changing. And party which is in power in the center, maybe in opposition in states. The state may be completely different party, like West Bengal, it's neither in center. So this in our federal structure that keeps on changing. So your lordships are necessarily confined to whether this scheme is constitutionally valid and can appeal to your lordship. Now, please come to page 6. What are the earlier efforts made? And some of the discussion in Parliament.
Page 6.
Page 6 of my written submissions 2A. The same file, same document. Because I must say to the credit of all our leaders across political lines, that everyone has tried their best. But sometimes the problem is this, and I was really told about this problem. In political parties also, there are divergence of views, whether to support this scheme or not to support this scheme. And the reason is genuine, practical, but a little humorous. What happens is, I am a leader, I am a local leader in a state, or third, fourth ranked leader at the national level. I get 30 crore by way of political contribution to my party. I would deposit only 25 crores in the party. In case of electoral bond, every rupee goes to the account of the political party. If I have to accept it, I have to accept only through electoral bond. That unexpected benefit will not be available to me. So there is a debate even amongst other political parties that this scheme works well. That this element is at least eliminated. Now please see what are the efforts which were made, and then I will link it to the speech of the then Honorable Finance Minister when this scheme was introduced. That every effort was made, every permutation, combination, this can be the solution, that can be the solution. Everything was tried by the nation. And we reached the situation which I have shown at page 102 onwards. And now with that problem, the nation, as a nation, I'm not going one party or other ruling here or ruling there. As a nation, we started thinking, and in the Parliament, this scheme was presented, and why it was debated, how it was debated, I'll point this. But there is one article where I could find something. Before I take your lordships to this 69, the theory is that in 69, there was a party called Swatantra Party floated by
Pilu Modi.
No, that was by Rajaji.
Rajaji and Pilu Modi. Rajaji was really the...
Rajaji, Rajgopalachari ji was the founder of that party, and that party was gaining momentum. This is a theory. And the government of the day wanted contributions to that party, which was gaining momentum, to stop. And therefore, they prohibited any contribution by the companies. Yes, I'm sorry.
The present scheme, this is lacking.
Yes, sir.
Other persons will not be in a position to get any information.
I'll have to justify that. But this attempt was made. Thereafter also some attempts were made. And having found that this is the only possible solution to not incentivize black money, then the decision is taken. I'll come to that. I bow down, and I'll have to satisfy your lordship's conscience on that. But what is this electoral trust? It exists today also. This system exists today. The Honorable Finance Minister in 2017-18, while introducing the present scheme, takes note of it and says that it has not achieved the result it was intended to achieve. Electoral trust is not the subject matter. I just broadly point out what are the contours of how the trust operates. Any companies, number of companies, 5 companies, not less than 5, can create a trust. It's only a name trust. It is not to be registered as a trust. It is a Section 25 company. whatever companies have chosen to be members of this trust would put their money in that common pool. And that trust would decide whom to pay, to what extent to pay.
And they have to pay not less than 95% of
95%.
in the previous financial year.
5% would be for their administrative expenses. But there also, this confidentiality was not given. And therefore, nobody preferred to go through the channel of electoral trust. It is available. Look, today, I must tell you, Lordships, there are these channels available. I can still pay by cash. Very honestly, I can still pay by cash. Second, I can pay by way of a check, which discloses my identity. I may not have any objection, my identity is disclosed. I am identified with a particular political party, or I am paying both the same amount. Either way. Third, I pay by RTGS. That again discloses my identity if the party wants, any political party wants to know. Fifth, this electoral trust. That also is a scheme open. Now the fifth one, after experimenting, my lord, all these, is the present scheme. Your lordships would find position in the United States of America. They also had something similar like electoral trust. Because every country is grappling. For example, my learned friend cited one example of one country where it is directed that government would fund the election. It's not possible. That was an example of a country with less population than Delhi and with 2 or 3 parties. But we have federal democracy, we have several country-specific issues. But here, what is called PAC, political action committees, which were like voluntary organizations, were created. And those PACs were the common pool in which the companies would donate, and those PACs would decide where to, which political party is to be funded. But they had their own problems, which I have narrated, my lord, which may not immediately assist your lordships in the present dispute, and therefore, my lord, I leave it at that, my lord. Your lordships may kindly go through it. It would be, my lord, it would be an interesting read, my lord, and it would give a perspective that why every country is grappling with the problem and why every country is trying to find out the solution which is country specific. The political parties continue to receive most of their funds through anonymous donations which are shown in cash. Lord, this is, Lord, unless you accept the problem, there cannot be a solution being found. Lord, honestly, my lord, the honorable minister says that this is the problem we are facing. An effort, therefore, requires to be made to cleanse the system of political funding in India. Donors have also expressed reluctance in donating by check or other transparent methods, as it would disclose their identity and entail adverse consequences. Well, this is not what I am saying by way of a justification. This is what is in the mind of the lawmaker. Unfortunately, my lord, just out of, not out in the so far as matter is concerned, but when this discussion used to take place, the then honorable finance minister, my lord, was really very unwell. He was in the last phase of Mr. Jaitley, my lord, and he used to carry some liquid, my lord, which he used to continue sipping as advised by the doctors, and we lost about 25 kgs, and my lord, I can remember those days. Electoral bonds substantially seek to cleanse. He doesn't say 100%. He's very clear that we substantially try to tackle this problem. Electoral bonds substantially seek to cleanse that system. My lord, when I come to the scheme, I'll explain why this 15%. That quid pro quo element is, my lord, attempted to be done away with.
Solicitor, there's a clear problem here with this speech.
Yes.
The finance minister then, it's of course a speech in parliament, but now the element of transparency is that the donors buy these bonds. Not necessary. The donor doesn't have to buy the bond. The person who buys the bond need not be the donor to the political party.
Out of 100, your lordships are right, 2 can be such. Not all.
We are not on how many.
But your lordships would
we are not how many.
But your lordships would not.
We don't know how many out of 100 too. The point is that a donor does not necessarily have to be a person who buys the bond at all. Second,
I'll answer
obviously,
that.
the
I'll
finance
answer.
minister, obviously, their balance sheets will reflect that they have bought a certain amount of bonds.
Correct.
Balance sheets of only the purchaser will reflect, not of the donor necessarily.
Correct, Manoj. Maybe 3 out of 100, 5 out of 100. No, your lordships are aware I need not cite the law, though I have placed it.
Then later in the next para, the learned finance minister says, when the cash is given, the source of money, the donor, and where it is spent is not known.
Correct.
Therefore, at least now it will be known. How will this be known? Suppose an electoral bond is purchased, the source of the money is not known, the donor is not known, and where it is spent is not known.
I'm sorry.
All three are not known.
No. It is known, my lord. Kindly allow me, my lord, to explain the scheme. Lord, when I buy the, my lord, forget the example which your lordships, my lord, have in mind.
Yes.
Out of 100, my lord, 5 people may misuse the scheme. That may perhaps not be the ground on which your lordship would judge the validity. But rest 95, not those who
We are
really
not on
want
misuse. We are on what the scheme really is capable of achieving.
Your lordships have not seen the scheme.
Right.
Lord, nobody has taken your lordships through the.
We'll see the whole scheme together.
Lord, therefore, but Lord, what the honourable minister is, Lord, trying to say is that if I buy the bond, my balance sheet would reflect that I am buying the bond. The scheme envisages that I can buy my bond only if I am KYC compliant. And therefore, it would be known somewhere that this gentleman has bought electoral bond for being contributing
The
to.
balance sheet does not reflect which bond he has bought. The balance sheet only reflects the total amount which has been spent
Yes.
on contributions.
The total bond purchased, the amount, not to whom it is given. It need not, my lord. Otherwise also, my lord, it is never. My lord, if I buy, my lord, say Kisan Vikas Patra, not a comparable thing, but it doesn't show. The balance sheet would not show it's gifted to my daughter. It shows only buying of Kisan Vikas Patra. Now, when it is given to a political party, the political party would deposit in a designated account. There is, my lord, a minute scheme which is prepared. And that designated account also will have to reflect in the statement of accounts of that political party, which will be filed before the election commission. The election commission would know that at least 500 crores have come by way of clean money. And both of them, my lord, will be reflecting that in their respective books of accounts, which the honorable minister says in case of cash, nobody knew. I may go with a bag of 50 crore, give it to Mr. X who is the president or whatever of a political party, and nobody would know what I have given, to whom I have given, whether it has reached political party or not, what use it is put to, nothing. Therefore, he says that significantly we'll be able to tackle this problem.